legislature. You implement the logo. Here's some action items, things you should be fighting back against. Interstate transfers of bodies. Major no-no, at least for us. What do I get now? There was a movement, and I'm not going to throw people under the bus. I spoke to Blaine about it, and Fred, and I think a lot of you in the room may know about it. They took Marylanders in this presidential cycle, put them on a bus under the sanctioning of the GOP, state GOP, and sent them out of state to Virginia and Pennsylvania. Said, hey, they're swing states. Yes, they are swing states. Why are you taking them from Maryland? Romney was up by 20 points in West Virginia. Is there no one nationally who knows that? Is there not anyone sitting in that RNC headquarters right next to the Capitol going, hey, maybe it's not a good idea to take them from Maryland? That's where the wall to the castle is being breached as the weakest. Why don't we take them from the section of the wall where the wall's 25 feet thick and the archers are knocking people off left and right? Had that ever occurred to anyone other than the people in this room who fought back loudly? And ironically enough, and some of you know, we were mocked for it. Like, oh, you're crazy, Maryland. One of them said to me, this genius, well, some of these people wouldn't volunteer for you anyway. It's not about me. It is not about me. We had ballot issues we lost. We had congressional candidates who were swamped. Not about me, folks. So you should be pitching that up to Steve on the Central Committee, to pitch to Alex at the GOP, to pitch to Reince at the GOP, to say, happens again, you're not getting a dime from me, and I'll make sure nobody else donates to you either. The damage it did to my campaign was tangible. I had donors calling me and say, I can't give you any more money. You know why? If these idiots aren't willing to fight for themselves, I'm not willing to fight for you. They didn't see that. That's what I saw on the back end. Don't let that happen. We should transfer bodies to swing states, but not from blue states. It's a foolish strategy, folks, and it's guaranteed to fail. I was going to address this, and I was glad Steve kind of brought it up. Candidate dossiers, candidate recruitment. What do I mean by that? There's none of this going on in Maryland right now. They're trying to do something with a Pathfinders type program. I don't know much about it, but it's a little late at this point. We should have had an architecture set up. You know, when the Orioles need a new shortstop or first baseman, you think they walk into Pickles' Pub and go, hey, who wants to try out for first base? We laugh because it's stupid. That's what we do in politics. That's what we do. There's no scouting team, nothing. And it's usually avoided, one, because they don't want to do the work, but secondly, because they'll give you the excuse, well, we can't get involved pre-primary. Nobody's asking you to. I'm asking you to go, and here's an idea. How about Frederick County puts this out, a blast email. Mark puts it out for the club and says, folks, Jekyll and Hyde, you come out on this night, on this date. We are going to have a 2-hour open mic candidate session. You have 5 minutes. We're not going to tell you what to say. You're on the clock to tell us why you want to run for office and why you're upset. We don't care what you do or what you've run for. I will guarantee you, as Dan Bongino is my name, you are going to find a diamond in the rough who you are going to say, holy, where did this guy come from or woman? Nobody knew who I was. You might have voted for me or not. But nobody had any idea. If someone would have just given me the chance to get up in front of a room like this, maybe by the time the primary was over, people would have said, hey, we know this guy. This is a winnable race. There's none of that. There's no recruitment going on at all. So I think what you're doing here is a great idea. I think if they have one open seat they're running against, we already failed. Make them fight and make them fight hard. Candidate recruitment, it's a must. Don't just do one. Have these open mics. You may have 90 duds before you get to that one guy who's the next Reagan and blows this whole thing wide open. Where nationally it's not going on, locally it's not going on, nowhere. Remember, think nationally, right? Act locally. If we were doing this nationally, can you imagine a candidate file we could have? It'd be like this. They'd have backups to backups to backups. Hayden wants to run, he drops, God forbid. Hey, we got that other guy, Tony wants to run. He's fantastic. Where's that happening? Here may be the only place. So I'm glad to hear you guys are doing it.